Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, Dawson ASMR, and today we're going to be looking at part 2, numero 2, of my bookshelves, so my bookshelf tour. And I whispered in the last video, but I'm not I don't like the static on this mic, so we're gonna try soft spoken. Let me know what you like about it, what you think about it. So, if you haven't watched part 1 to this little duology, you can find that here on this channel. Today we're going to be looking at the second half of my shelves. And first things first, I'm the realist, drop this into the whole world. No. First things first is my horror collection. Now, I mentioned in my last video when I'm showing you my fantasy that I love horror. And this is sort of sectioned off. So this is my, I'm trying to find the best way to describe this is my creature feature shelf. So, right off the bat, my two little trinkets, because all my shelves have trinkets. This is my Sam and Michael Emerson Funko Pops. And you know that these are from The Lost Boys, Vampires. Love that movie. Then over here, Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, and Breaking Dawn. And I also have Midnight Sun. So I have all of the Twilight books. I have not read a single one of the Twilight books. I'm so sorry. I need to read them. I adore the movies, but I need to read them. And then, along with vampires, we have the Vampire Diaries. Rest in peace, 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲. She just passed away. These, there's a tragedy with 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 and her publishing career, and how her publisher and agent really screwed her over. And I only read the ones she personally wrote, because 90% of them were ghostwritten, because they got rid of her when they realized they could pay someone less to run with her ideas. So I never read any of those. I read the ones she published, and this is the first two. Very good books, if you have not read them. Very fun, very 80s, 90s horror paperback that you get at the market. Very cool. So, then we have a book that I have not read, but I'm very excited to read. And I'm sorry if the people in my apartment are loud. If I could muzzle them all, I would, but I think that might be considered assault. So, we have Frankenstein in Baghdad, and this is one I'm very excited to read. I recently got this, and I wanted to show it off because look how cool that cover is. From what I understand, it's essentially, it's the story of Frankenstein and his creation, but it's used, he creates the monster by using the bodies and the body parts of innocent victims of the bombings in Baghdad. So there's a little bit of a political stance there too, which I'm very interested to look into. So again, creature features, we have vampires, we have Frankenstein's monster. For those of you who don't know, the green little Frankenstein, that's not his name, he's the monster, he's the creation. So then we have Christopher Pike and his Thirst novels, Thirst. And these are the first 9, I want to say. And I think that's all that were published were 9, and then he wrote more later on. I have not read the later on ones. I haven't even read these, but I don't want to read the later on ones. I want to just read the original 9. So there's Thirst, 1, 2, and 3, but there's 4 and 5. Don't ask me the titles. I don't know. But there's 3 in each of the volumes. And then we have a book called Let the Monsters Out. Let the Monster Out. I don't know what it's about. I haven't read it. However, you notice my part 1 of this video. There is a book by the same author where it's like the foster system and stuff. It's a really good book. But this is more like this monster is released in a small town. So, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. I really enjoy this book. I thought it was very clever, very satirical, very fun. And then The Living Dead by George A. Romero, of course. And I've had that for quite a while, and I don't know when I'm going to get to that. It's massive, but I bought it. I'm like, girl, when am I going to get to that? But zombies, vampires, monsters, creature features. Very cool. And it's a really great subgenre. So, let me go ahead and now show you my paranormal stuff. So, I'll take you down a notch. Sorry you're at a weird angle. It's just sort of easier to try to get the mic in a good position. It's kind of just easier to move the camera down that way. So this is my supernatural paranormal shelf. And what I mean by that... Wait, can you hear my neck crack? Did you hear that? I have 4 displaced discs. Isn't that crazy? So, essentially, it's very ironic because here are 2 Funko Pops from Supernatural. If it would be featured in Supernatural, it's probably on the shelf, to be honest. So, we have 2 very dusty Twin Peaks trading cards of my 2 favorite characters, Bobby and James. Very cool. I couldn't get a Laura. Those are so expensive. These 2 weren't. But I want Laura to go with all 3. I don't know. I think it would be cool. And we have these are new released. I think they were exclusive to the Funko store and you can't find them in the store, but it's Dean playing guitar with his leg. And Sam when he's possessed. So, very cool. And then I also have, I don't know how to read them, so I won't be doing a video on them because I don't want to disrespect anybody by doing it wrong. But I have supernatural tarot cards. Fun fact, these scare the living hell out of my mother. She is uber religious and does not like the idea of anything that's not, so yeah, but these are really cool. They have like artwork and stuff on them. But books, I can't reach stubby little arms. Visions, Lisa McMahon. Don't close your eyes, Lisa McMahon. Visions is very good. It's about a girl who she basically has visions of the future and stuff. So it's like it's almost like That's So Raven. It's really cool. Don't Close Your Eyes. Do not know what that one's about, but each of them has 3 books in one. So I did read all 3 books of the Visions trilogy. Malice and Havoc. These are so cool. Listen, people often ask me when they find out that I like to read, and I read all age groups, because a lot of the books that I read growing up are nostalgic for me. But people often ask me, what's a good book or book series that my kid can read who is like, I don't know, I mean, they have all kinds of ages, but this is a good one for like 5th grade to even early high school, honestly. I enjoyed it when I was in college, but it's because it's really creepy. It's kind of like Goosebumps, but it's essentially this it plays off the trend where kids do. Can I pull it out here maybe? Do you see? This is actually really cool. It has a 3D design. But it plays off the trope. Remember when kids were doing, I was doing it in high school, Charlie, Charlie, are you there? You basically gather these, this feather and these materials, and you call Jake, who is the Hat Man, and he's supposed to whisk you away to his world and kidnap you. Well, he does. He does. Very fun duology. Very creepy, but not so scary that it's not enjoyable. It's just really good. I really like it. I might read that again this October, maybe. The Apartment, S.L. Gray. Have not read it. The Exorcist. Very fun fact. I had a boss who was more of a family friend than anything. I've known her for years. And she read that, and she couldn't finish it because it was too scary, but she said her mother read it before her. Her mother didn't finish it. Her mother took this book. Not this copy, obviously. But she took the book, and she went to this famous bridge we have where they were from, and she threw the book in the river at like 1 a.m. And she claimed, now I don't know, that the book was there the next morning, sopping wet on the nightstand. I don't think a book is haunted, but what the heck's going on? But anyways, The Road, Cormac McCarthy. Here's the thing. I'm not a person who often is like, if you want to read any book before you die, read this book. Because I feel like that's subjective. Maybe I've said it a few times, but it's not really meaningful. This book, I mean it. If you read one book before you die, read this book. It's interesting. It's intriguing. It's different. It's written in a weird way. And I won't tell you how because it's just more interesting to discover it yourself. But as big as it is, it's like 300 and some pages. I devoured it in one sitting. I could not get up from it. It was so hooking. And then last of the paranormal stuff, we have Fallen, which is about fallen angels. Have not read this. There's 2 more, I think, and I don't own them. But yeah, this is my little paranormal horror shelf. Now, before I show you the other half of my horror stuff, because I have 2 more shelves, we're going to take a little pit stop in between so I can show you 2 very distinct authors who I own so many of their books that they both got 2 shelves dedicated to just them. 4 shelves of 2 authors. Take a guess in the comment who those authors are. Was the first one you guessed Stephen King? If you did, congratulations. Your prize is a nice pat on the head. So these are my Stephen King books. I don't own all of them at all. And let me tell you, Stephen King, I used to herald as, and a lot of people still do, the greatest horror author. He's not, by any means. Has he set the blueprint for a lot of horror stories and tropes and movies and books? Absolutely. Has he influenced the horror genre? We cannot deny that. He is the current, I would say, rendition of like Poe, Lovecraft, like those iconic horror authors that set the stage for something new. He is one of them. Is all of his stuff good? Not by any means. Not by any means, my love. No. But a lot of stuff is good. So I have a bit of the books. Oh, do you see that dust? I promise you I do. It's just they collect so easily because this apartment doesn't have good ventilation. But I want all of his books in the original hardcover. That's hard to come by, and they're expensive. So if anyone has any good tips about how you can find those, let me know, because I've scoured the internet, and these are like per luck. Fun fact, these 2 I got from a man, and when he shipped them, he said, here's the tracking number and stuff, and I said, oh my god, you live in, I won't say, but it was a town that my entire family is from. It is where our clan, I guess you'd say, or group, or whatever even the name is, the family name, the symbol and stuff that every family has. It's where it began. He's like, oh yes, yeah. He's like, I'm 10 minutes from. I gave him an old address, and he's like, oh yeah, I live 10 minutes from that. I'm like, how crazy. So it's wild. Sorry, I like to yap, but I have Christine. This is the original printing. This one, I'll be transparent with y'all, because if you want to collect these two, this one was like $30, and it's used. It's still in pretty good condition though, I won't lie. I have some of the newer ones. This is my most expensive one. I think I paid $60 for that. And it's used, because of course it's an old original printing. But I think they just look so nice together like this. Everyone wants to collect those rainbow paperbacks. I like those. It's just, for me, I want the classic look. I don't know. But I have Holly. I have Billy Summers. The Stand. I have tried twice to read that, and I cannot finish it. I'm determined to finish it this time. It. You want to hear a controversial opinion about It? It's only a 4 out of 5 star book for me. What? Oh my god, don't crucify. Oh, I really don't care. The book was way longer than it needed to be. I understand the inclusion of like certain pieces. Baby, no. It needed to be shorter. There were plenty of parts where you could have shortened it and trimmed off the fat. But Misery's really excellent. The Dark Half. Gerald's Game I didn't like. It could have been a novella or a short story, in my opinion. I know it's pretty short as it is, but remember, this is an old printing. That font is like this. It's very tiny. Insomnia. Very scared to read that. I have Insomnia. Rose Matter. Desperation Regulators. These are... Richard Bachman is him, but it's like two different perspectives of the same story. Black House. I Need Talisman. 11/22/63, one of his best books ever written. Joyland. Oh, I gotta cover that. Joyland is my favorite book of his. It's not even horror, and it's my favorite book of his. It is beautiful. And I'm gonna show you. I'll bring you over to the next shelf, because he has 2 shelves. This is so funny. I'm like straddling the tripod. It's so funny. So we have Elevation. Again, I promise you I do dust. This is an old, it even has like residue from the Walmart sticker. My original copy of Joyland. The hardcover is a special edition. You like it darker. Dr. Sleep. Revival. So good until the last third, and I was like, ugh, I'm checking out. Sleeping Beauties was boring. A fun concept, but I got bored really easily. The Outsider. Joyland is my favorite book of his. The Outsider might be the best modern written book by him. It genuinely might be. The Institute. Fairy Tale. I have not read Fairy Tale, but I'm very interested in it, because from what I understand, and any of you that have read it, let me know. Fairy Tale is like taking the children from his book, not the actual children, but like ones that are like the ones who shine, like Danny Torrance, Firestarter, and they all go to this like school or something. I don't know. They're kidnapped by the government or something. Or is that the Institute? I'm thinking of one of the two. Sorry. Mr. Mercedes, Finders Keepers. Don't have end of watch yet. I ordered it. Get this. I ordered it twice. I bought it used twice in very good condition. And I want you to tell me what in the description of very good, when the book goes from good to very good, like new to new, where in that description of very good is a dust jacket missing? Because twice it's happened. Yeah, these are really cool. I have not read the Dark Tower books. I'm very scared to read them because they're so massive. But these are probably the only 2 I'll ever own of these, because I've looked up what they are used. These were by luck. I bought these both from like a flea market place, and they're like $7 a piece or something. They go for like $90. I'm never going to be able to get the rest of those. But these are the special edition illustrated ones. So, very cool. Nightmares and Dreamscapes. And then The Bizarre Bad Dreams. So those are the Stephen Kings that I own. I do not own his newest one. Yeah, I do. You Like It Darker, but I mean, like, the new one is going to come out. I don't buy his books new. Unless they're gifted to me, I don't. Because to me, and I honestly, I'll tell you the same thing. This book is You Like It Darker. It came out, and then 6 months later, I got it off Book Outlet for $5. It's not that his books are not sold, and it's not that they're bad. It's that he is one of the, if not the most popular author in his genre. That in the same sense that, like, I don't know, Daniel Steele gets published, millions and millions of copies. Not all of them sell because they make too many. They get put to outletters, like Book Outlet, Ollie's. You're always going to find his books. Trust me. Half of these I bought from this one. You see that? I got that from, see the little line? Book Outlet. So you're always going to be able to find them. So this newest one, by next spring I'll be able to find a cheap, brand new copy too. So let's show you the other author, shall we? Because I think you're going to take a guess. So what do you all know about Cassandra Clare? What do you all know about the Shadowhunters books? Because what I know is that it's my favorite fantasy series. We have, in rapid fire succession, the Mortal Instruments, City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, City of Lost Souls, City of Heavenly Fire. These are the first 6. These first 3 started it all. Because let me tell you, we have Infernal Devices, Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, Clockwork Princess. Here's the tea of what happened. Miss Clare wrote City of Bones through City of Glass. Trilogy. Perfect ending. Ended well. I loved every bit of it. She started writing these 3. I think she got to the second one. The first one. And the publisher said, let's have more. Let's have more of City of Bones. So she wrote these 3. And then she started publishing them in tandem. Angel, Fallen Angels. Prince, Lost Souls. Princess, City of Heavenly Fire. I began reading them when City of Fallen Angels was published. So at that point, these 4 and Clockwork Angel were out. So I was reading them as they were coming out. And I stopped at a certain point, but I love her books. I think I just sort of got in this reading slump where I wasn't reading fantasy at all. But I absolutely adore these. They are fun. I'm so sick of this. There's an incest plot line. If you have, I'm going to be mean for a second. If you have even an inkling of reading comprehension, you know that the brother dating sister trope thing going on here is not real. It is a tactic used by the villain to trick the heroine and hero into not being stronger together. Because it does use the trope that the only way these 2 heroes are going to beat the villain is if they are strong together and combine their powers. But they can't do that if they think, oh my god, that's gross, we can't love each other. We know it's not real from the start. And that's my only piece. Because I'm sick of people criticizing the series. It's iconic. It's urban fantasy. It arguably revitalized the urban fantasy genre in the 2000s. And it was along the train of things like Divergent. And then we do not talk about it because the author, but Maze Runner. Things like that. The Gone series, Michael Grant. So, but I love this. I have the illustrated Denizens of the Downworld book. This is the 10th anniversary hardcover. Very cool. So yeah, and these are all original hardcover printings. So all of her books are for my collection. Let me show you the other half. Back to straddling it. So this is listen, I told myself I was going to collect all of the editions of City of Bone that had the movie covers and stuff. I got the TV cover and that was it. I haven't, But Bane Chronicles, Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. These are short story collections. Very fun. Then you have your Dark Artifices. This is Lady Midnight, Lord of Shadows, Queen of Air and Darkness. I'm on this one. Oh, I'm on this one. It's so good. Then you have another short story, Ghost of the Shadow Market, which you cannot read until you have read these. Okay? We have The Red Scrolls of Magic, The Lost Book of the White. These are the story of Alec and Magnus going off to find the Book of White. And then we have her up-to-date trilogy, which is the Chain of Gold, Chain of Iron, Chain of Thorns. This is her new trilogy. She has stated, because I've shown you in the last video, that she is publishing another fantasy series. She has stated that there are enough books to publish 25, and then she's done with Shadow World. And I'm going to need you all to hold me when that happens, because I'm going to have a panic attack. Because I'm not ready for this world to end. And that sounds so silly because it's a book world, but you have to understand, I've been reading this since I was 14. And I'm 25, so 11 years now. And when it's done, it'll be probably 15 years that I've been reading it. Yeah, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 20. So there's 5 more books coming. There's a whole new trilogy. I already said that. There's this one, which makes the 4th one. And then there is the last short story collection. And she has stated that the last trilogy that's coming out that we haven't seen yet will be taking characters from all 4 series. So, Mortal Instruments, Infernal Devices, Dark Artifices, and then our Elder Curses. It's going to be taking all of them and putting them in one trilogy to fight the biggest bad that has ever shaped the Shadow World. And I'm very excited, but I'm very nervous. Also, this is a Carstairs trinket dish. Very cool. So, that is all my cast sound declare books. Now, I can show you the rest of my horror books. And these are really fun because these last 2 have no theme, they're just random horror. So, booyah, I'm back. Like I said, these are just like random horror books. I'll say these are more mystery, I think. I think subconsciously I just group those kind together. But we have James Patterson First to Die. James Patterson I've already, I think, talked about in my last video about how he's very controversial, but I'm honestly on the fence about whether, I agree with him or not. He has a lot of good points, he has a lot of bad points. He does a lot for the book world. First to Die. It's fun. His Women's Murder Club, there's 26 books now. They're fun. I've only read 3 of them. But it's like watching an SVU episode. You know what you're getting every time. You already know what's happening 10 minutes in. But it's fun. It's great. Paranoid Lisa Jackson. I have not read a single Lisa Jackson book. I don't know why I own that. I usually know why I own every book, but I don't know why I own that one. Oh, these are so cool. These are so cool. Oh my god, I gotta show these off. Okay. When I went to Canada at Indigo Books, they have these special printings of classic novels. And Shirley Jackson's my favorite gothic writer. And they had The Haunting of Hill House, and We Have Always Lived in the Castle. How cool is that? Both excellent stories. Really, really beautiful, haunting tales. So, very cool. And if you've never visited an Indigo, I feel like it's a little underwhelming compared to Barnes & Noble, but it's a lot of fun because they have a lot of cool editions. Then I have Until the End, which is another trilogy from Christopher Pike. This one's like a murder mystery, I believe. The Ruins, Scott Smith. The movie freaks me out. I don't like it. I like it, but I don't like it. The book's supposed to be really good, though. The Blade Between, Impulse Buy, Walmart, and those like $7 bins they started putting out. I don't know why. I thought it was a good idea. we need to talk about Kevin. I need to read this. I'm really interested in this. 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 I love. This is my therapist copy. My first ever therapist when I was 13, maybe. She suggested I read this and The Lovely Bones because I had an innate fear of dying while at the same time wanting to die. But she made me read them both, and they were really beautiful, beautiful books. A Study in Charlotte. I read the first one only. I'm not joking when I tell you, Brittany Cavallaro, there's something in her writing that I imagine is exactly what those who got to experience literature for the first time and understanding words, it's what they felt like. It's really beautifully written. It's essentially a descendant of Sherlock Holmes, like his great-great-great-whatever granddaughter, and she is solving a murder, serial killer mystery at her college, so it's very cool. Hello Girls is a Thelma and Louise retelling. I haven't read it yet because it's one of my favorite movies and I don't want a book to ruin it. Pretty Little Liars. I have read all 4 of those. They're stupid and fun, and that's exactly what the 2000s, teen girl mystery, needed to be. It's very fun. It's silly. I like it. I have not read the rest. I think I might read the next 4, but I don't think anything after that I'll read, because everyone and the mother who I've talked to or who has read the book say the first 8 are the best. Actually, the second 4, so 5, 6, 7, 8 are the best. But yeah, that's the shelf. I have a little, what do you call that little trinket bag? But there's nothing in it. I just thought it looked cool. It's faded, so let's go down a level, shall we? Yeah, let's look at the rest of them. Also, I'm really sorry for the lack of role plays lately. I'm sort of just getting more comfortable with this and being back on camera. I don't particularly feel completely secure in doing characters and stuff. So role plays that I'm planning are for at least for the near future, are simpler ones like video game role play and bookstore or checking out somewhere like grocery store or something. Things that I can just be myself almost. You're not gonna see any made up characters or something like that. But anyways, right now I'm just yapping, and I like to yap. It's fun. This is Natasha Preston's "You Will Be Mine." I want someone to tell me. This is me talking, okay? I want someone to tell me, why is it that it's so hard to find slasher novels? I'm not talking one person's dead and it's off page and there's oh my god, who done it for 300 pages? No. I want people being slashed on page, and I want it to be creepy. I want to be able to try to think who the killer is, like Ghostface. Okay? That's what I want. And this book kind of did that, but it floundered. It was fine. Yeah. 2 Lois Duncan books. Love Lois Duncan. She's another one of those 80s horror authors. My heart breaks for her even today, this many years later. If you don't know what happened to Lois Duncan, she wrote these mystery novels, these horror novels, and no one, and I don't think the police ever said, but I personally, in my own opinion, after watching so many videos about it and reading up on the case files and stuff, I feel like the books, having been written, did have some kind of influence to play. But Lois Duncan's daughter was kidnapped and murdered. And to this day, they still have no idea who did it. And then from that point on, she stopped writing those types of books. I think she stopped writing altogether, except children's books. It's really tragic. It really sucks. And my heart goes out to her. It really does, all these years later. But, yeah, if you've not read the book she wrote about her daughter, it's breathtaking. So, 2 Ruth Ware books. I have not read Ruth Ware. My boyfriend wants to read Ruth Ware. I love reading things with him. This year alone, we've read about 20 books together. We sit next to each other, and we just read. So, it is the same book, The Troop. This one we read together. Love Nick Cutter. If you have not read Nick Cutter, you need to be reading Nick Cutter. This man, there's a reason that whenever I see something that's disgusting or someone describes something disgusting in a movie or something, I say, oh, that's a Nick Cutter-worthy description. The man writes body horror like I can't imagine. It's terrifying. It's disgusting. Stone Maidens. This was an impulse buy I got from a TikTok of this girl was recording her dad, and he had been a cop for years. I've not read it, but I will tell you what I think about it when I do. And it's so cute because he's a retired cop, and he's writing this book. It's a detective novel, and it's steeped in sort of like these Native American symbols and this history that a cult, that's a real cult, took on. They adopted it, and he researched that for the novel, and it's really cool. But it's so cute because he's writing it on like one of these old, like they weren't computers, but it was like the type computers where the only purpose of it was to type. It's just so fun. Silent Patient. I feel like the hype died down for that, but I didn't read it. White Rabbit, None Shall Sleep. Slasher novels. And I think this one's actually gay. Why is it not on my shelf? That's because it's more slasher than gay, so just trust my own mental process and trust that I know where my books go. Okay. So then we have a stack of hardcovers. I can't reach them all, but we have Riley Sager, the only one left. I haven't read that one yet. I have read two Riley Sager books as of making this video. And I'm starting a third one soon. And I read The House Across the Lake, and I read Home Before Dark. Home Before Dark was 5 stars. Excellent book. Terrifying. I was actually shivering. The House Across the Lake. It's a love letter to Hitchcock. But I did not like the ending. I just didn't like... You're telling me that's going to take a supernatural turn? Really? Really? But I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Anyways. Haven't read that one. Leave the World Behind is supposed to be really good. It's a TV series now, like a mini-series. The Paul Bearer Club. Paul Tremblay. I have read 2 Paul Tremblay books and did not like them. I'm sorry. Everyone loves Paul Tremblay, but I've tried twice. They're mediocre to me. And that's not me saying they're mediocre because they're badly written. It's mediocre in my opinion. Because you are suffering from the bad ending trope. Sir, you're writing these amazing stories and these amazing concepts. Halfway through, they go nowhere. I get bored. I had to force myself to finish The Cabin at the End of the World. Campfire, Sean Sarles. Very underrated author. It's YA, but it's very fun. It takes place in the Appalachian Mountains too, so spooky. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. A lot of fun stories in there. And then The Girl on the Train, Paula Hopkins. Yeah. So my thing too, I love horror, and I want to own all of my horror books. I'm going to get the rest of my Riley Sager books. Because I do plan on reading those. I think right now, me and my boyfriend are at this pass where we're only reading Riley Sager books. We just read 2 together, and I think we're going to read the 3rd one. We're starting it tomorrow or Friday. And there's 9 so far, so we're going to just go through them all in quick succession. So I wanted to just have a nice pretty stack of Riley Sager books. Wouldn't that be nice? So yeah. So let's move on to the next shelf. We have 4 more little shelves to show you. So this is my... Oh, I really took on a southern accent there for a minute, didn't I? I'm from the South, but I don't have an accent. So when I talk like this, it's not to make fun of anybody. It's because I know people who talk like this, but I can't talk like this. This ain't my real accent. And I've tried to get an accent, but I just don't have one. Like, I was in the ER one time, and the nurse was, filling out my stuff, and I said, I'm from here. And she literally stopped and was about to accuse me of lying. I was like, I'm from here. She's like, you don't have an accent. You sound like you're from Ohio. My family's from Ohio, which might be why I don't have an accent. But I also force myself not to have one. But it just, yeah. Anyways, we have, this is just general fiction that doesn't fit anywhere for me. There's no place in fantasy and romance and stuff that these books fit. So, I can't reach it either, but we have More Than This, Patrick Ness. Perks Being a Wallflower, my favorite book of all time. Turtles All the Way Down, John Green. The best John Green book, in my opinion. Puddin', that is the sequel to Dumplin', which you'll see is down here. Out of Character, I don't know. The Night When No One Had Sex. That is a book that I'm very well looking forward to. It's a prom night, and it sticks out in my mind because I remember I was supposed to read it and I just never did. I had it pulled out and everything and this was back when I bought it, but essentially it's prom night. I don't have to spell it out for anybody, but a car accident ends up landing, whether in the accident or because they're waiting in the waiting room to care for their friends. It's like a hospital waiting room. So, I don't know, it just sounded really thrilling to me. Very scary. Prom is like the signature mark of leaving your high school life behind, in my opinion. Graduation isn't, but I don't know. Denton's Little's death date, my bad. Boy who has cancer, he has a death date planned. Tyler Johnson Was Here. Very emotional book. It's about a boy and his twin. His twin is wrongfully killed by the police, and he has to fight for justice. So, It Came From the Sky is an alien book. We All Looked Up. Tommy Wallach. That book is stunning. It's stunning. I'm telling you, it's stunning. It is one of those books that really makes you think about life. Essentially, the world is about to end, an asteroid is heading towards Earth, and they don't have much time. And it follows multiple perspectives. It's almost like one of those, like, New Year's Eve movies or Love Actually, where there's multiple timelines that will link up eventually from different perspectives. So, One Last Shot, that was an arc that a publisher gave me. It's, and I wasn't making videos at the time, but I was still on their list, and I had to ask to be taken off. But that is a photographer, I want to say, in World War II. So, Little Women. You ever read Little Women? Read Little Women. It's a classic book. Very fun. This is the edition from the movie. So, Bones of a Saint. Glass. And I also have Fallout. I have Crank somewhere. Where's Crank? Crank is not on that show. Where's Crank? Is Crank also on this show? I have Crank somewhere. I mean, I don't have Crank. You know what I mean? Am I just not seeing it? I do have Crank. No, I have the book Crank. It's somewhere. I just don't know where it's at. No, I don't have it. You know what happened? I had an elderly cat. Rest in peace. And she peed all over that book. Yeah. I think that's what happened. There were 3 books that she ruined because she peed on. I didn't blame her. I understood. But she liked to crawl behind the books. And, yeah. But, yeah, I think that was one of them. There were 3 of them. But, because I'm not seeing it anywhere. But it's kind of a funny story. Tragedy. What happened to the author, but that's, we need to be more vigilant and seeing the signs. Secret Garden. This is really cool. I can't reach it, but I want to show you. I'll deal with my fat ass reaching. This is their Pantone color collection. There's like 7 books published in this from Puffin. It looks like the little like color things from Lowe's. It's very cool. We have my original copy of Perks Being a Wallflower from high school. We have the Perfume Burned His Eyes by Michael Imperioli. A lot of the younger viewers may know him from White Lotus. I know him from Sopranos. So, To Kill a Mockingbird, very excellent book. And then we have the remainder. That is something sticky. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I do know what that is, actually. Yes, I do. I had lights on each shelf put up with sticky glue stuff, and that's what that is. Because it was yellow. Fault in Our Stars, Paper Towns, Abundance of Catherines, Will Grace, Will Grayson, Looking for Alaska. I have not read An Abundance of Catherines. I've tried multiple times. It's so boring. I'm so sorry, John Green. I'm not a math person. Math is my downfall. I failed algebra 3 times. Sorry. That is my YA fiction shelf, general fiction. Let me show you the adult general fiction shelf, okay? Listen, if my yapping is annoying, just tell me. I know that I'm an annoying person. But you know what? I don't care. So, we have some really random books here. I gotta tell you. Heart of Darkness. I love the movie Apocalypse Now. And that's based on this book. But I have not read it yet. She's Come Undone. This is one of those books. You know, I have no place to discuss a woman's journey. That's not my place. I support feminism, support a woman's body, her choice. I stand with you. But that book, I read it, and I finished it in about 2 days. I was very young, 13 or 14, and I didn't realize it was a man writing it. I thought it was just so genuinely beautiful, and I felt like it really understood, again, I can't speak on the women's experience, but the experience of being young and fat, on being traumatized in certain aspects. Like, I understand, and I think it nailed it. Wally Lamb absolutely nailed it. Then there's Eli the Good. I met the author. It's signed. A very moving book. I took a seminar under him. Very, very moving. All of my Anne Sexton poems. Favorite poet. Normal People. Have not read it, but I actually just finished the miniseries not 3 days ago. Hope Never Dies. I can't pull it out because of my SpongeBob Legos. I have some Legos there, but that's a parody book, which is very funny. It's hilarious, and it's Barack Obama and Joe Biden back when Obama was still president, and they solve crimes together. It's so funny. It's like Starsky and Hutch, you know, T.J. Hooker, stuff like that. It's cute. It's fun. It's silly. There's 2 of them. I read the first one. Atonement, 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲, however you say it. 2 Tennessee Williams plays. He's my favorite playwright. I have read nearly his entire repertoire. I only own those 2, and then a paperback with 3 of them in it. But stunning Bible. I'm gonna butcher his name. Khalid Hassani. I need to have pronunciations in my head. You can't see it, but that's The Kite Runner. It says a moving portrait of modern Afghanistan. Yeah, absolutely. Broke my heart. We had to read that in high school. Have you read that book? We read that my sophomore year of high school. What the hell? Eleanor Oliphant. I can't read the title from here. It's completely fine. Gail Honeyman. The Bell Jar. Sylvia Plath. Alfie. Bill Naughton. Like I said, it's very general fiction here. J.R. Ward, The Bourbon Kings. This takes place in Kentucky. Kentucky is the home of bourbon. Chances are, any bourbon you have probably comes from one of our distilleries. So, I don't know if that's true or not. I like making up things. I'm kidding. It's that meme when I lie. It's so funny. But I want to read that. It's a trilogy, and I haven't read it yet. but it sounds very interesting. The Lovely Bones, I mentioned it earlier. Here I Am, Jonathan Safran Foer. He wrote that book, Extremely Loud, Incredibly Close. Moving book. I have not read this one yet, though. The Girl with the Louding Voice. I've heard excellent things. And then Anxious People by Friedrich Bachmann. And I have not read anything by him because I'm frightened. I am quite frightened to read his books because people have said they will destroy you in a way that is not humane. So I am very scared. But we'll see. I'm having to squeeze myself in here. These are my, so we have 2 shelves left. These are my biopics, whatever, my biographies, autobiographies. And I have a random little collection of Book of the Month. Book of the Month feels very scammy because of all the price changes and how they charge you, but that's just me. Book of the Month, I have Things We Lost to the Water, Razorblade Tears, Sign Here, Instructions for Dancing, Nicola Yoon, Don't Have Dinner With Me, because I'm not going to finish that sentence. Me and you going to talk, though, and we're going to fight, because what do you mean, the ending of this book? What do you mean? Heart Principle, favorite romance of these, so great. Someday maybe. We have some biopics. We have Prince Harry's autobiography, his memoir. That's easier word, memoir. Why am I saying autobiography? Simu Liu's memoir, who plays Shang-Chi. We have... I can't say the title, but we have Jenna Jameson's memoir because as a gay, women in power is very iconic to me, and I love the way she has kind of spoken out against the adult film industry and about how toxic it can be. She's just kind of iconic. I've always loved powerful women. So, and I'm gay, so the past has nothing to do with me. Sorry. The Contender. This is a Marlon Brando biography. It's my first non-memoir. My favorite memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died, by Jeanette McCurdy, which is about her trauma and her abuse of having a stage mother. Her mother she basically gave her an eating disorder when she was 6. Pamela Anderson's memoir. Love Pamela. She's an icon. I grew up with her, and it warms my heart to see where she's at now. She is just stunning. And I don't just mean physically beautiful. She is emotionally has grown so much. I am so proud of her, and she doesn't even know me, but I'm proud of her. Tom Felton's memoir. Haven't read that one yet. And then we just have James Franco's, and then this Power of Now. It's a uplifting book. So yeah, and I have a Barbie cup from McDonald's, and I have a couple Dolly Funkos. I have read Dolly's books. I don't own them. I couldn't justify spending the money they cost, and I've already read them from the library. So now onto the last shelf. Welcome, welcome to the Hotel Fleur de Fleur de Fleur de Fleur de Fleur. I don't care. I'm 25 and I still watch Disney Channel. So these are my comics and my manga, and this is the last of what I own. That's a lie. I have mass markets, but I'm not going to bother showing them to you because I don't keep them on display like that. They're just stacked on the shelf. But these are not all the comics I own either. I have 3 shelves on the floor, the bottom tier shelves that are just nothing but comics, but I don't touch them as often. I don't read them as often. Yeah. So we have Invincible, and I have the first, I accidentally, I had a wish list up on a TikTok a couple of years ago, and people were sending me books, which I'm always very appreciative of, and I did not expect one bit, but I felt really bad because I accidentally had, because the list was just for me to know what I'm shopping for as well, I had Volume 1 and Compendium 1, which contains Volume 1, and I was like, now I feel bad because someone bought that, and I already have a copy. But I don't feel bad because I attend Comic-Cons regularly, and any moment when one of these three mains are at that Comic-Con, I'm getting it signed, I'm getting it bagged and sleeved. So it's not a waste at all. Very, very nice. And if I don't get to do that, well then I guess I'll just give it to somebody who needs it. Outcast, Robert Kirkman. Not nearly as great as his other stuff. And the Walking Dead Compendium one, I own all of these. Very excellent. I can't tell you the title of those two manga. I bought them as a joke, and I'm completely serious. Because they were trending on TikTok and I didn't believe it. And me and my friends at the time didn't believe it, so I bought them as a joke. And yes, I did read them. And yes, they're as bizarre as you think they are. So yeah. But I do love gay manga like that. Not that, necessarily, but like, there's a couple that I'm looking into reading as well, but there are some good ones out there. So I think it's called, I think the BL is because boy love, maybe, is what it's, is that why? I don't know. I don't know the names for different mangas. I mostly read horror, as you can see. 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲. Tokyo Ghoul. I don't own any, but Fairy Tail and then Battle Angel Alita. I haven't read either of those. They just don't pique my interest. And then that is my only single edition of Walking Dead comics that I have still. And it is my, it's issue 137, and it's because, in my opinion, it is the coolest cover. Look at Carl being a badass, showing off his eye hole. That is so cool. So iconic. I really wish the TV show had been there, you know? And then here in the corner, you can't see it, that is Aliens. That is the 90s comic. Or 80s, one of the two. And it is the official third installment after Alien. It's Alien, Aliens, and then this comic. Because Alien 3, the comic revitalized it. The Lost Boy is some random graphic novel from the Scholastic Book Fair when I was in 5th grade or something. I have held on to it that long. I want you to know, 5th grade. Let's see, I graduated high school in 2017. You do the math. Somebody do the math. I'm bad at math. I graduated a year early at 17. So 17 is 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So 8 years minus 17 minus 8. I was 9 years old. Whatever the math is, I don't know how old that is. Freddie and Me, very fun comic. The Blair Witch Project, a dossier. It's fun. It doesn't add anything to it. The original movie, and I love the original movie. And then, I can't crawl back there to show you, but I have a little interactive book that goes along with the Mr. Robot series. So, but that is my entire book collection. I have quite a few, well over 300, I believe, 300 or 400. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for putting up with my rambling. Like I said, I have more role plays planned in the future, so not just rambling. But remember, until next time, you're beautiful, you're wonderful, you are loved.